Send forth your spirit, spirit of power. Send forth your spirit, Holy Spirit, Lord our God. Send forth your spirit.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Today is Monday, 22nd June 2020, and we are in the 12th week in Ordinary Time. Our first reading is from 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 5 to 8, 13 to 18. And the Gospel is from Matthew chapter 7, verse 1 to 5. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At that time, Jesus said to his disciples, "Judge not, that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and the measure you give will be the measure you get. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when there is a log in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly the speck out of your brother's eye." The Gospel of the Lord. Welcome to the sharing. Let us begin with the background of this Gospel. We are reading in Matthew chapter 7, and we know that is part of the sermon which Jesus gave on the Mount from chapter 5 to chapter 7. And he talks about a number of things: true happiness or blessedness, fasting, forgiveness, care, anger, anxiety, and prayer, among others. And then today he talks about a very crucial point: judgment. What is to judge? In simple terms, it is passing a statement against someone or some action. For instance, if I say, "She is beautiful," that is a judgment. At times, it is inevitable to judge. For instance, as an administrator, a parent, an employer, or anybody in authority, you just have to judge. The greatest virtue we must seek, or that is sought for when passing judgment, is, according to Aristotle, justice, and according to Bernard Lonergan, truth. And if we recognize in an individual these paramount virtues when passing judgment, we are most likely going to recommend them, especially in the contexts of the courts of law, because that is what we all seek for: justice and truth. But then, why does Jesus tell us not to judge? Why? Jesus is liberating us from the need to be everyone's conscience or censor, remembering that all of us are endowed with conscience. At times we mind so much about censoring others, overriding their own judgment. We want to understand on behalf of our brothers and sisters. We want to judge everything about their lives, overriding their own individual judgment, their own individual conscience. As human beings, our judgment most often ends in condemnation. Unlike Jesus, who never came into this world to be its judge, John chapter 3, verse 17. Many a time we are tempted to seek out wrong and vice instead of mercy. While we were kids, when someone maybe wronged us, the resolution was to report them such that they are punished, not in order that we may seek reconciliation. And this characterizes most of our judgmental statements. Jesus is warning us against the tendency to usurp the definitive judgment of God, who sees the heart, because ours is only tentative, partial, and inadequate. We should remember that what goes around comes round. Therefore, in judging, we are exposing our very selves to possible judgment. Are we worthy to judge? In our childhood, we had a game or a joke in a way that I tell you to point your finger towards me and urge you to say all sorts of insults to me. And after I would say, one finger is pointing towards me and 3 are pointing towards you. So you are 3 times what you have just said to me. Are we worthy to judge? To answer this, Jesus warns us about hypocrisy, using a much exaggerated image of a log and a speck. Just imagine such scenarios, having a log in the eye and a speck. We pass judgment against one another, forgetting that we could be worse. We could be pointing towards ourselves with 3 fingers, therefore 3 times worse than our victims. Are we worthy to judge? I think we are not. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit of renewal, give us knowledge, wisdom,